Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, here with another album review. And today I'm checking out the band Slaughter Swamp with their album Human Debris. Now, a little bit about this band is one thing is they're from San Antonio, my hometown. You might have heard me talk about it a couple of times. But yeah, so I'm really happy a local band from my hometown hit me up for a review. So that's awesome. From what they told me, they've been around since like 2021, and they've put out their first EP slash demo in 2022. Well, I guess their first demo was 2022, and this Human Debris EP is their first EP. And they've played locally, have had a few member changes here and there, but they're doing pretty well for themselves. And they played with bands like 200 Stab Wounds, Stabbing, and Tomb Sentinel. And this album is kind of impressive because they got Devin Swank from Sanguisugabogg to be featured on here. So sounds like these guys are really getting some momentum in them. Oh, for those who don't know, they play like a super death metal style, almost grindcore-ish, a bit of metal. If you know what that is, you know what that is. Death metal grindcore. If you know that, you don't know, just it's really heavy, really intense, pig squeals, very distorted, as most people will be like, I don't know what they're saying. Yeah, that's the gist of it. But we like that music, and that's why we're here. So let's do a little breakdown of this EP real quick. Yeah, Encased, Septic Perdition. I think I said that right. It's a very death metal sounding song, especially with the riffs and how they sound and whatnot. Encased, Septic Perdition. I hope I said that right. Very death metal riffs from the get-go, especially with the heavy use of dissonant sounding guitars and pinch harmonics. The drums are really hard to hear. They're really buried in the mix. And on top of that, the vocalist is very large. Not like he's vocally large, but on the mix, he's like on top of the mix, I think. So he like blankets most of the music. So it's really hard to hear the drums. Midway through the song, they have some pretty sick riffs and some blast beats with a nice groovy vibe to it. I know death metal with groove, like, well, that doesn't make sense, but yes, death metal can have groove to it, people. The vocals, again, as the song progresses, it's really hard to hear everything because they drowns a lot of things out. Second half of the song is really good with the riffs from the guitars and whatnot, so that's a good point. And I will say, for the most part, I didn't understand where Devin's feature was until after I heard the song. He's at the tail end of the song, I think. So here's a little clip of Encased.
The septic tank in her backyard Saturday.
My wife does. If my wife was then with me when I wanted it, when or how I wanted it, and then wait for after I beat her. But I had no remorse for it. I feel sorry for her. I was alive.
See, even without the vocals, it's kind of hard to hear the drums, right?
Even when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures
Carved. Nice use of the cymbals with the drums and whatnot, so that's really nice and like dynamically playing. But you still can't hear the drums. The riffs are still holding well; they're still solid. As I was listening to the song, I started realizing maybe it's not the vocals that are the problem with hearing the drums. Maybe the drums are just bad. They're just mic'd up bad or not played well because I think it's just the drumming problem. It's not good. The bass can be slightly heard more on this track than the previous, so that's an improvement. Overall, simple and groovy song, but yeah, it's nothing too special. Especially the kicks from the bass drum, they just sound bad. Knife goes in, guts come out. So there's like a little bit of like a sound clip at the beginning of the song, and then it just goes right into some heavy death metal sounds with the drums and the guitars and everything. It just sounds very brutal, very reminiscent of Cannibal Corpse here. And I think they're playing a little too fast here, and so it causes the song to be a bit messy, and they lose pacing with one another, it feels like. But as the song progresses, they pick up a nice groove and seem to be more coherent in the second half of the song. It's slow and heavy and has some groove to it at times when they pull it back and don't do so much fast stuff. The slow stuff sounds really good. And then the bass is really like you can hear it, and it's mixed in really well. Has a really low tuning to it, which is nice. It just when they do the fast stuff here, it gets a little bit sloppy. But the back end of this song is much better than the first half. So I want to play a little clip of this song for you. Yeah, they sound good slow down and being like just heavy and slow. Necrophiliac has a bit of a groovy sound to it at the beginning, but then it kind of goes like kind of flat with the simple drumming and the heavy metal riffs or death metal riffs. Like it gets pretty bland pretty quick. As the song progresses, nothing stood out to me. It was just, yeah, brutal, it's death metal, but nothing was very interesting here. It's okay. The vocals are huge. You have a very large presence, but I can't really comment too much on this song, I feel. Human Debris, slow, groovy, and heavy at the opening of this song, and it sounds pretty good. If you're a headbanging person, you'll really like this song because before you know it, you're going to start like slowly headbanging to the song. So that's a good sign of a good catchiness to a song, I think. I will say the guitars are a little awkward here in terms of like transitions when they're going from like different parts of the song and stuff. I will say the snare and cymbals are fine here, but again, that kick drum is like non-existent here. Has some fun riffs and some drum parts here and there, but the production it's not the greatest, I think. But I will say the ending of this song is cool with how they slow it and make it go like really, really slow and whatnot. So kudos, guys. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on this EP from Slaughter Swamp. And I want to say like the biggest highlight here is like they have some style to them. They got some groove to them. Like they can get like some catchiness to them if they can tighten it up a little bit, I think, because the guitar riffs have so much groove to them and like really like carry the songs and have a good vibe to them. They played for the most part pretty well and have no problems here, minus a few like transitions and whatnot. But overall, they just have some good scaling and sound, and they can play really well. Next would be like the vocals. They're brutal. They're death metal. They sound good. I just wish they were turned down a little bit because they seemed a little bit too high in the mix. It drowned out the other instruments, but the performance on the vocals are good. And then I would say on the bad side of this, the bass and the drums, the bass is almost non-existent. And so it comes and goes here and there, but most of the time you can't really hear or feel it. So I feel like I can't put too much of a comment on it. But the biggest thing here is the drums, the kick drum. I can't hear it. I don't hear anything. Snare and cymbals, I can hear it, but the kick drum just sounds gone, not there. So it feels like something is missing, and it just feels really, really not like produced well. The drums, maybe they didn't mic it up well or something, but something about the drummer, the drums, or the production used, it just doesn't sound good because you can't hear the drums. And maybe it's the mixing got lost in the mix. I'm not too sure, but yeah, not a fan of the drums on here. But yeah, so this is one of my local bands there from San Antonio. Yay! So I wanted to say thanks for letting me do a review for you guys. Appreciate that. And so I would say my honest opinion that this EP from them is a slight, not a solid, but like slight 6.5 out of 10. There's a lot of work here that needs to be done, particularly drumming and production needs to be worked on a bit. But I think these guys can go somewhere pretty well because they're from San Antonio, which is like one of the heavy metal, death metal cities of the world. We love metal, so I think they can do something here. They just got to fine tune it. Just got to work on their craft a bit. So I am Matt from Diazable. Thanks for coming on by. Links down below to Slaughter Swamp and everything. Here's a new video or a video that I made, and check it out. And follow me on here, Instagram, whatever. All the links are down below. Thanks for coming on by, guys. Bye.